Let's see, ramping down to, oops, I guess I do that. And down to there. And then down one more. One, two, three, four, five. And then that is at that end there. Well, maybe I can pull this forward a little bit. Harvard says, okay, so when they took in 267,000 in 2015, that was 0.84 per capita, yeah. In 2018 they took in 22,000 or so, which is 1/10. 1/10 of that. But that's the thing about all this, right? Like statistics, a lot of people don't vote based on statistics. They vote based on gut feelings. So I'm not sure if like any of this even matters in terms of changing anyone's minds. Since 2015, so since the Labour government in New Zealand, I believe we have doubled our refugee intake. But even then, it's still way below many other countries in terms of per capita refugee intake. So, not something I'm particularly proud of. Yeah, per 1,000. Two, three, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright, up to there. Harvard says, well, at least you're doing better than Aruba. We're stuck in one person between 2007 and 2016. How big is Aruba? Isn't Aruba like a tiny country? Yeah, Aruba's just like a tiny island. Let's see, what's its population? Population is, well, there are 104,000 people living on that island. It's not that small. It's quite small. Maybe they could take 2 people, not just 1. $104,000. Oh, you're looking at different stats. I just googled Aruba. Let's see. 2016 estimate. Oh yeah, no, 104,000. Well, a little more than. Yeah, no, okay, I see you. I see your joke. Ah. It's yeah, no, like a lot of this stuff it's not something statistics can fix, I don't think, because people don't make decisions based on statistics. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, there's all sorts of stats like how migrants to the US commit fewer crimes than natural born citizens. Right? And it's just something that it doesn't feel right, and then people just don't believe it because it doesn't feel right. But logically, you can kind of see how that would work because you know that law enforcement in the US profiles people who look different. Harvard says Ethiopian news, defense chief of staff just got shot. Internet is down in the country. Attended coup according to government. Gunfire in capital. Yeah, I saw that just before I started streaming too. Defense chief of staff got shot. I wonder how serious that coup is. Well, I mean, they're firing guns, so they must be serious. Ethiopia, is there any background to that, Hava? Again, I'm sorry I'm asking you to do my research for me. Like, what's the background to that? Why are they doing a coup now? Alright, we're almost there. So we get to this level, diagonal across, and then we straight in. Mr. Ahmed was elected last year and has moved to end political repression in Ethiopia by releasing political prisoners, removing bans on political parties, and prosecuting officials accused of rights abuses. But since he has come to power, ethnic violence has re-emerged and has left 2.4 million Ethiopians displaced, the UN says. Okay. Huh. But who's who's doing it? Is it the people who were just released? Are they getting revenge, or is it the people who imprisoned them in the first place trying to keep them down? So what's the who is it? The news is like so often a little too neutral. 2, 3, 4. In a statement, the ruling party in Amhara accused a former security chief who was released from jail after Mr. Abiy came to power of being behind the violence. Okay, so the people who are released are now accused of trying to take revenge, I guess. I don't know. maybe they were released a little too soon. Maybe there needed to be a little more reconciliation. Because the thing is, like, alright, so one guy is behind the violence, but you can't just start a coup by yourself. You need enough supporters, right? So, presumably, there are other people, enough other people who feel the same way in order to have violence, right? Let's see, so this is here. Do I ramp down and ramp back up again, or do I just go straight across? I think I just go straight across. Which... How is this more importantly, how do you... Oh wait, how do you feel about the BBC news site having an Australia section and no area for New Zealand? Well, at this stage, I feel like there's not much you can do about it. Africa, Asia... Well, I mean, there's no Pacific. Shouldn't Australia be like Pacific or like Oceania? I mean, sure, New Zealand got left out, but so did all the Pacific Islands. That's kind of rude. It should just be Oceania. Although I do find the notion of like a greater Australia slightly amusing. Slightly terrifying, but also slightly amusing. Yeah, no, it's just being left off world maps. But you know, like it's always just a little bit at the side. You know, it's easy to miss New Zealand on world maps. I do understand the difficulty of keeping track of our country. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, so this is the trackway. It didn't take that long. Let's see, 1.5 hours in. Oh, well, almost 1 hour, 40 minutes in. I guess the next part is the cable duct underneath this regional link here. And also I might as well knock down the glowstone. I was just reading your national news site, I think. No wonder BBC don't have you, nothing happens there. Top news is about some guy who has 18 homes. Well, that is kind of news. You know, like, housing prices are out of control in New Zealand. And it's all because of that guy. It's all his fault. But yeah, no, I mean, the nice part about New Zealand is that things tend not to happen here, and so it's kind of quiet and peaceful for the most part. For the most part. We would prefer that it remains that way. A lot of big bridges on this regional link. Kinda like it. That's gonna be interesting when I actually build it. Yeah, Columbia, but with no pipelines. No oil. Sounds like Scotland on a nice day. It would be nice if more of the world was not quite as disastrous, wouldn't it? There's a bit of a cut here. I guess that's fine. And then into there. Alright, so now the cable duct. Let's start on that. A whole lot of dirt punching involved. One, two, three, four, 5. And then diagonal that way. I mean, getting left off maps, it's funny, but also New Zealand's not that small. It's like you can't see it from space. You can see it from orbit. Like if smaller islands get left off, you kind of understand. But New Zealand's not actually that small.